I love New York. There's a few different levels to it. I had no good reason to move here. I had no career here. I had no friends here. I had no place to live. But I love New York. On kind of a deeper level, I visited New York soon after 9/11. My brother does live here. And I stayed with him and walked around the city a lot. And felt like there was something here that I wanted to do. I wasn't sure what that was, and I wasn't sure how that was going to look. But I just felt like there was something that needed to happen in New York in terms of healing. And I wanted to be part of that, or wanted to become part of that. And it still took me a few years to actually move here from California. But that was my intuitive voice that told me to come here and to just try it. And hey, if I fail, if I fall flat on my face, I could always go back to California. Not a big deal. But if I don't try, my background is in psychology. I have an undergraduate in psychology and a master's in psychology, as well as a license in marriage family therapy in both California and New York. A lot of people don't really know what that is. And basically what that means is that I help people that are dealing with issues in relationships. They could be single, they could be in a relationship, they could be in a monogamous relationship or a polyamorous relationship. But people that are trying to get through this life with happier and more satisfying and fulfilling relationships with other people, whether or not they are in a primary relationship or not. And so I deal with issues related to stress management, depression, anxiety, anger management, grief and loss, bereavement, HIV issues, couples in discordant, serodiscordant relationships, meaning one is positive, one is negative. I deal with a lot of people who are looking at issues of religion and spirituality and what that means in their lives, as well as bullying and ageism. Those are kind of a lot of people who are so afraid of what getting older means, primarily because they haven't been shown or they haven't really been taught how getting older can be such a gift, how it can be so freeing, and how much fun and empowerment there can be in chronology. But I think most of us have been conditioned to think that getting older means that somehow we're obsolete and we're asexual and we're lonely and that it's like this really bad thing where we don't matter anymore. My own personal experience is teaching me exactly the opposite. So I'm trying to help people and work with people to get a better idea and a happier idea of what this inevitability for all of us is going to look like. I mean, let's face it, we're all going to get older or we're going to die. And I really feel fortunate, given my life, that I have the opportunity to get older. And I've known plenty of people who didn't get to turn 40 who wish they would have. So I'm using this as an opportunity to discuss that and hopefully help people along their own journey. Very strongly that our emotional experience is determined by the words we use and the way we describe them, usually without realizing it, usually because we tell ourselves certain things that lead us to feel anxious, stressed, miserable, depressed, and that I have found in my own life that when I apply the word should to a situation, whether it's me or to someone else, or even the weather or politics, then I suffer. I get stressed, I get depressed, I lose sleep. And a lot of my early life was based on being pretty unhappy. Once I started to learn the way that I was contributing to that with my shoulds about who I am. You know, as a kid, I thought I should be more masculine, I should play sports, I shouldn't be gay, I shouldn't love soap operas, all these things that I should do as a boy that I wasn't doing. And because I had shoulds about that, I suffered quite greatly. Once I started to question and challenge these shoulds, I started to find relief. I started to find comfort. I started to find freedom in living my life on my own terms. And then started to realize that kind of like other people like that too. That sometimes when we change our lives, we become teachers for other people. And that a lot of other people were feeling trapped and kind of imprisoned by the shoulds in their own lives and felt like they could enjoy their lives so much more when they let go of their shoulds. So with that knowledge, and about after 16 years of working with that in my own head and in my therapy practice, I sat down and wrote a book about it. And about just kind of the emotional, psychological, and as well as the political consequences of internalizing shoulds. And having the ability to be resilient has been one of my favorite things. there's a certain level of success that I'm experiencing right now, which I can appreciate. Not because I think that I'm all that and that I'm like a better person than anybody else, but I think if this had happened 10 years ago, I would have used it to inflate my ego and become destructive in a certain way. I don't think I knew how to handle praise or success 10 years ago. I don't particularly feel like I'm doing anything special right now other than listening to what I'm being instructed to do intuitively in terms of trying to make this world a better place than how I found it. With that framework, I'm able to enjoy my life so much more. I'm able to enjoy doing interviews at We Love Soaps TV. I love interviewing actors and writers who have been part of the daytime soap opera genre, and really getting to inside their heads and learning what makes them, do the things they do. That's been an extremely ecstatic experience. Being part of the end of the spread of HIV, and being part of these vaccine trials has been an enormous reward for me personally and professionally. And again, these are things that probably mean more to me now than they would have meant before because of the intuitive voice that I'm listening to. I don't mean voice like, woo. I just mean my own intuition that's telling me to, just get in there and try to make this world a better place than how you found it. All you can do is try, but just get out there and do something. That's what brings pleasure to my life right now.